Hello, my friends. It's Suzanne, and today is day 4 of the days that I am speaking to you every single day in succession. So, in this video, I'm going to do a brief overview of what we covered in day 1 through 3, and then I'm going to progress towards the next appropriate topic that goes along that path. So, first of all, I want to show you I'm on my balcony and the sun has set. I had planned to go out to the pool to do a talk then, and I got there and it was already closed. I thought it closed at 10, it closes at 8. We'll try again tomorrow. And then I thought I would go for a walk over by the coast, which is over there. It's a nice pathway that goes from here to here and takes you to the beach, which is over there, and then you can walk all the way along the coastline over there. But it was really windy, and I recalled on the first day that I was speaking to you on video, we had a lot of wind issues and also my being out of breath, and I made the executive decision that we're not going to do that again. I spent a good couple of hours today just cleaning up that video from the first day. And I am committed to making as little work as possible and as clean as I can audio. And so up here it's not windy, I'm not out of breath, and we can have a quiet conversation. I would love for you to join in the conversation once you see this and hear it. And so, since I'm focusing this mostly on YouTube, there is a place to leave comments, which is now called a community section. Okay, so here are the beautiful colors. So to review, I had been pushed by Spirit for quite a long time. I mean, I'm talking about months, and if I go back even more, it was more like years, where I was encouraged to just make a video a week, and then more imminently in the last couple months it was like, let's go on every single day, and that every single day I would have plenty to share. And this is true, because every single day I'm in conversation with Spirit in my journals, and there is always such rich content. And this is why I think they have been encouraging me to share. I'm not really prone to coming out and just sharing spiritual content because it feels very kind of sacred to me, and it's personal in my journals. But through the encouragement and asking not only me, but all of us. And so as an example, hopefully you will see and find the courage yourself to, quote unquote, come out of the spiritual closet and start to teach. Okay, I'm going to have a sit down. We'll see through the railings, or we'll just have a stare at some candles. Whenever I'm making these videos, I'm also making it so that you can simply listen if you want to. There's not anything major that you're going to miss. It isn't about the video. It's about the content. And so, I'm actually even going to put this down. Let's see if I can do that. No, I can't because my headsets are in. Okay, we'll just hold it here. Okay. Day 1 was about answering Spirit's call and doing what you're being called to do. And some of you may not know what you're being called to do. Some of you may already know what you're being called to do. So it was, for the first group who doesn't know what they're being called to do, I quoted a lesson from A Course in Miracles, which is number 71, and the 3 questions it asks you to ask Spirit. And so you can go back and review that day 1. And you can also find in my A Course in Miracles playlist on YouTube a specific short audio on that lesson, which is lesson 71. As I was demonstrating that I was doing what was being called for me to do, I also taught about all the resistance that you're going to have against it, which is exactly what I had as well. I have a lot going on right now. I'm moving out of a house in less than 6 days. I am going to be traveling for a couple of days and then to Zurich, and then I'm going to Edinburgh, Scotland for 4 months. And so this is simultaneous packing for the trip and packing to put my things in this home in storage, which I have been doing for a couple of months, so it's no big deal. But to add something new to my schedule on top of an already busy kind of work schedule with my work, I had all kinds of excuses with Spirit, like, why now? Why are you asking me now? And they were very gentle and kind and said, you can always fit it in. And I'm finding that it is true. So that first day, you will see, I squeezed it in while I was taking a long and vigorous walk to the dentist when I was late and going through the brush and the dirt. And the message was delivered. I wasn't even sure what the content would be, but I'm being directed and I'm being told. So day 2 involved me experiencing a great shock into my life, which I hadn't been expecting. And you know what? This can often happen when you start answering Spirit's call. That there will be a period of dismantling. There will be a period of dismantling your life as it currently is, which I have gone through years ago, or a dismantling of fear. And the only way to dismantle fear is to place you in a situation where you need to have a lot of faith that everything is in divine order and that everything is going to be okay, and that you just need to relax and not try to solve this problem immediately. Let's see if I can get in here. You can stare at the candle, but let's see if I can get in focus. Yeah, okay, why not? So the advice just for that day was stay calm. And all of you have gone through shocks in your life. If you are on a spiritual path. If you're not on a spiritual path, many are scheduled to be coming on to their spiritual path. And that often involves difficult shocks that will come into their lives and cause them to ask a lot of questions like, why? Why me? Why me? Why now? Why did these people do this to me? So then that brought me to day 3. And day 3, everything had already been replaced. I had to do some scrambling. I had to replace a certain situation that was really important to this whole mechanics of, putting things in storage, moving out of my house, going on a trip. Is a lot of moving parts. And by that evening and confirming by the next morning, the most wonderful people I contacted through their businesses, and they came forward and yes, we're available. And one said, you're really lucky because we didn't have this available before, but just by some chance, it's available now, and I'm all squared away. And I talked about on day 3 how you often have a choice in these times of being in a higher consciousness or a lower consciousness. Because although all of the solutions came to me, there was a temptation to continue to be really angry at the person that caused all of this out of the blue, who wasn't respecting a contract that I had with him, who wasn't respecting an agreement I had with him, who just had gone sideways on what I thought was a stable, solid agreement. So I shared with you on day 3 how you have a choice of which consciousness you want to be in. Are you going to rise up to the consciousness that provided you with all of the solutions that you needed and more? Or are you going to descend into a battle which is always about your ego and needing to be right and needing to punish the other person? That's what the ego wants to do. It wants to be right. It wants to prove to everyone that it's always right. And it wants to punish the perpetrator. A lot of what I'm sharing with you comes from A Course in Miracles. And they spent a lot of time explaining to you what your ego is all about and what you can do instead. And that is to see the miracles of gifts and benefits that are all around you at all times. So today it was introduced to me to forgive this person. I had had communication from him that was continuing to try to engage in a battle this morning. And I very easily could have engaged in that battle, but I chose to withdraw. I recognized the beautiful people that had come forward, whose services I would be engaging, who have offered wonderful help, and I will end up in a great spot. And the other one still is wielding his sword, even though he was the perpetrator. It's very interesting. But it is an example of the opportunity given to me to forgive. There's a couple of things going on here, and one is this feeling of rage that is on the inside that can happen. And there's a couple of ways that this needs to be handled. Number one, I should probably start with how it should not be handled, and then number two, tell you how it should be handled. Number one, do not unleash your rage at someone else. You are participating in hatred and darkness, and you are feeding it. And I'm talking about universally and globally. Just realize, yes, I have this rage. Yes, I have this anger. Yes, I'm really angry at this person for this betrayal. But raging at them contributes to the lowering of your own frequency and the contribution of more hatred and darkness in the world. You're participating at a very, very low level. Number two, don't deny that you have this rage. This will suppress it and send it into your body and cause problems in your joints, problems in your heart, problems with autoimmune. So we want to recognize that we're feeling this, because if you're more advanced spiritually, you will recognize that it's not just you. There is an undercurrent of anger and rage that is bubbling up now, globally. So the second thing of not to do is do not deny that it is there. Here's what you do want to do with that rage. If you have a physical body practice, like yoga or Tai Chi or Pilates or running or something that gets you into your body, this is where you're going to engage that practice. And if you don't have a practice, I will get to you in a second. This is where you're going to engage in that practice and set out for yourself a session specifically for identifying this rage and this anger that you have about being betrayed. And then you're going to work your body through it, and you're going to breathe deeply through it until it becomes exhausted. And this might take some time. If this is one of the first times that you're accessing your rage, deep-seated rage, then it will take some time. But I don't want you to be afraid of it, because it will flow. And it is terminated at a certain point, meaning it's like a stream of energy that's going to come up from the root below. And as it comes up, it's eventually going to exhaust itself. If you have access to boxing gloves and a punching bag, this is the best and the fastest way to get this out. And you're not hurting anyone. You're not contributing to more anger and hatred in the world. In fact, you are diminishing it. You are acting as a pressure cooker, releasing the steam, releasing the pressure. And stay with this practice until that session feels exhausted or you are exhausted, and then engage in some kind of self-care. Do you need a shower? Do you need a bath? Do you need a nap? It's kind of hard to take a nap after these sessions, but what do you need to do for your own self-care, to take care of yourself? Okay. Next, you might need to do this again the next day. You might need to tap into this anger and rage and allow its release by breathing through it. Deep breathing. It's very effective. You focus on your breathing to start, and then your mind seeks out what wants to be released. You don't have to go looking very far to find it. It should be bubbling up to the surface, and you want to give it permission to bubble up to the surface. So this is a really important part of releasing the tension in your emotional body after you have gone through some kind of shock, betrayal. Now, that's all one big part one. Part two becomes, which you may not be ready for right away, but give it some time. Part two comes when you're ready to do forgiveness. And you may not be ready for that now. You may not be ready when you're in the middle of it, because there's still all of this energy of rage that is within you. But when you come to a place of peace and you come to a place of calm, just ask yourself if you are at least willing to forgive. You don't have to be effective at doing it on your first try out. But are you willing? And see, for example, a stream of golden light going out to the other person. And when you do that, you have simply nullified some very negative energy. That some reason you magnetized, maybe you simply magnetized it because you are someone who has signed up to help heal the world. And you will do it through your own life experiences. And when you fully and completely send that energetic signal to forgive someone who you believe has caused you harm, you have simply opened yourself up to miracles like you would not believe. And the reason for this is because you have emptied yourself of the dark rage of anger, and you have blessed and forgiven your perpetrator, and now your consciousness is clear and open to receiving. Expect miracles. Thank you, friends. I will see you tomorrow.